Alrighty. We're in the KG Lounge, discord.gg/KG Lounge. The proposition is non-cog is not true. I'm going to be taking the affirmative view. C is going to be taking the negation view. And yeah, you can find us at discord.gg/KG Lounge. And yeah, let's get it started. Okay. So I guess why can't one just adopt some type of elitic nihilism there and say that there's no such thing as truth, right? Because if it's the case that there's no such thing as truth, then it's not the case that non-cog is true, right? So why can't one just do that?
Well, I don't know what you mean when you say there's no such thing as truth. Can you just explicate that view a bit?
Yeah, we're just saying that there's no elitic property that's applicable to propositions. Right, we can replace the truth conditions there with pragmatic acceptability conditions.
Yeah, but when you say alethic, that's just to refer to truth, right? So when I say that truth doesn't exist, I mean
Yeah,
that there's
it
no
doesn't exist as a
truth-like
property.
property. Wait, just stop. When you say that truth doesn't exist, you just mean that there's no truth-like property of propositions. That's not to reduce the definition or give me any further explication. That's just to repeat the view.
Yeah, so when we were talking about reducing these type of properties, I don't know why I would even grant that this type of thing is one which is reducible at all, right? We could take truth to be some type of non-reductive notion. Maybe you can justify why we would even be able to justify truth or
No,
reduce
that's not the
truth.
point. It's just that I just don't know what you mean. But I mean, like, how do you deal with this hypothetical, right? Suppose I uttered a sentence, non-cognitivism is not true. Is that true or false?
It has no truth value because there's no such thing as truth and falsity.
It has no truth value. So then the proposition that non-cognitivism is true would not be true or false, correct?
Yep. You can replace the truth conditions with pragmatic acceptability conditions. You can say that it's pragmatically acceptable,
So I don't
right? But it has no
understand.
truth value.
I don't understand. Like,
I grant that.
I don't
I grant
understand
that you
this
don't
view. It's like
understand.
really, yeah, it's like it's not really making much sense to me. So
So
you
basically,
said
the
that the
idea just is that
proposition, you said the
um,
proposition. Sorry, you said the proposition that non-cognitivism is true is false, and you said the proposition that
No,
non-cognitivism
no. I
is.
said the proposition we're debating on the table is non-cog is not true. That's a mistrack on your end, C.
Okay, so
Right? Because remember, I
non-cognitivism
announced
is
it at
not
the
true. Is
beginning
that
of the
true or
debate,
false?
bitch ass nigga. I
Is
said
that true or
that
false?
non-cog. It's not the case
Is
that
that
non-cog is
is
true.
that true or false?
That's not a dichotomy. You could hold to
Is it true
indeterminate
or
truth
false?
values, or you can
Okay,
hold that
so
it has no
is
truth
it
value. I don't
indeterminate
know
then?
why that's one for which is
Is it indeterminate then?
dichotomous.
Is it indeterminate then?
It has no truth value.
Okay, it has no truth. It has no truth value.
Yep.
Okay, so you think that
Do
no
you have a
thing.
response? Like, do you actually have a
You
contention
think.
here? Because
Now
like
I'm
you're
just trying
just
to
yapping.
understand your view on alethic nihilism,
I grant you're trying to
right?
understand, right? Because you're low tier.
So,
You never came across this
so
type of view
when you say
before.
an
I grant
alethic
that.
nihilist, you're saying that you can deny that things are true or false, but you can agree that things have pragmatic acceptability, correct?
Yeah, you replace truth conditions with pragmatic acceptability conditions insofar as it's conflict free, right? And all it means
Yeah.
to be
What if I?
conflict free is just that I'm not done talking, British bitch. So let me
Yeah,
finish.
you
Thank
can
you.
go ahead.
All it means to be pragmatically acceptable is just that it's conflict free within our given conceptual scheme, and that's just to say that no member within the set of our given conceptual scheme offers up some type of undercutting relation or attacking relation towards another member within the set.
So what if someone just defines truth in the way that you've explicated pragmatic acceptability?
I don't know why I would even grant that this type of thing is applicable towards the finians of some elitic property.
No,
Why
because
would
like
I grant that?
look, I don't understand, right? You keep mentioning
Wait,
truth
can you
and
answer
alethic
that or no?
properties.
Because you just said, what if someone defines,
No,
right? That
you didn't
presupposes that
ask me.
someone is
You
even
didn't ask
able
me a
to
question.
define
You
it.
didn't ask me a question. You made a
So, can
statement.
you
The
answer
statement that
that?
you made
Why?
just
Why would it be the case that you
you
can
asked
even
me.
have it
You
be
made a
applicable
statement,
towards
and the
some
statement you
definitions of
stated
an
was,
elitic
"I
property? Yeah,
don't
I'm asking you the
understand
question now,
why."
Loter. So why
That's the
would it be
statement,
applicable towards some
right? So just
definitions
so
of
look,
an
I'm not
elitic
gonna do this
property?
verging
Can you
shit. We
answer
can
the
get
question?
moderation.
Can
We
you
can
answer
get
the question,
moderation.
please?
We
Can
can
you
get
answer the
moderation.
question?
We can get
Are you going to answer
moderation.
the question?
We can get moderation. I'll answer once I get moderation.
I mean, I don't agree to no moderation. We didn't agree to no moderation before we started the debate, so no, we're not going to be doing that, bitch ass nigga. So I want you to
We're
answer
not
this
gonna be
question,
doing
and I
what?
want you to answer
Talking
it in a
over
way
each
Wait,
that's
other.
wait, Cap,
exhaustive,
Cap,
and I want you to shut the
No
fuck
C,
up
one's
for you
Cap,
gonna
go.
C.
judge the debate where you
Wait,
just
Cap,
tag over
C.
the
I
person.
just want to say, can we like enforce judge moderation or?
Yeah,
No,
no
both
one's gonna
debaters have
judge
to
you.
agree to moderation. So no, free to go.
Oh,
No, we
okay,
cannot. So
okay.
look, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna
Okay,
ask you
I'll
this
just talk
question. I
over you
want you
then.
to
That's completely
respond
fine.
exhaustive. Oh,
So,
you
look,
think you
the
can
point that
talk
I'm
over me?
making
I'm
is
gonna
that
turn
first
my
and
mic up
foremost,
now,
you
and you're
didn't
gonna get
actually
over
give
talk,
me a
right?
question. You
Because you
just
think you
basically
can talk
explaining
over
about
me,
how you don't
right? My
understand
mic
how
is
that
louder than
notion
yours.
is
My mic
compatible
is louder
with
than
an
yours.
alethic
So stop
property.
talking.
But
You're
that's
getting
irrelevant
drowned
because you
out.
haven't given a
Okay.
semantic
So I
reduction
want you
of
to
the
answer this
alethic
question.
property.
When
It
we're
seems like
asking you, why can't someone
you're trying to
define
argue
truth
that
as the
the
way
semantic
that
notion of
Please
truth is
stop
I
for a
define it? Why can't
second.
necessary
someone
for
define
innate
truth as the way that I define
pragmaticity.
Please,
pragmatic
But what if somebody
acceptability?
just understands
I
it
don't know
in
why
a
it's
way
going to
that
be the
please
is not
stop
case
for a
that it's going to be the
second.
type of
valid?
thing which is
In which
applicable
case,
towards some type of elitic
Wait,
be
property.
wait,
While
pragmatic.
those things that
please.
can be
Wait,
applicable
please
to
stop for a
elitic property.
second. Wait, please stop for a second, please.
I mean, I don't mind
can't.
doing a
Wait,
moderation. I don't even.
please,
I didn't
please,
ask for
please,
talking
please
stick. I
stop.
asked for moderation.
Please, see. Wait, so I can't. I love judging for you guys, but I can't really like me and Free and Ruin. We can't really track you guys' points when you guys are yelling. So is it okay if you guys can maybe go one at a time, please?
Yeah, I
Can
just want to
I start with
ask my question
answering?
because I
I'm
was
fine
asking
with
him a
that.
question
I'm
and
fine
he
with that.
started talking. So
Okay,
I'm
look,
gonna
we
turn my
can do it
mic
like
back down.
this. Ask your question again, and then I'll answer explicitly. Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
okay. So you asked me a question. You said, why can't someone define truth in the way that I'm using the pragmatic acceptability conditions, right? And all I'm asking here is when you say that, that presupposes that this type of thing is even applicable towards the definitions of an elliptic property, right? So all I'm asking is, why would I even think that it's applicable towards the definitions of an elliptic property? You have
It's
some account on
possible.
why that would be true, or why would that be
It's
the
logically
case?
possible. Logically possible. There seems to be no inconsistency for my
Do you have an
belief set.
argument for that?
And arguing for it being logically possible, yeah, like you
Yeah,
just
but
put two
also I don't know why I
together.
would accept logical possibility. You can be a logical nihilist and take some type of Gillian Russell account there and just
Yeah,
say that
that's silly, right? Because you could be
there
a
is no such thing
logical.
as logical possibility. You can
You
deny
could be a
all of these
logical
things.
nihilist. You could be a
Or
logical
even a
nihilist and
modal
still agree.
eliminativist, right? When you say it's possible there, you can take some account where
Why does he keep
there is no
talking
such
over
thing
me?
as possible worlds, or that these type of possible worlds are the type of things we should eliminate in our daily
Why does he
discourse
keep talking?
practices.
Why does
So
he
I'm
keep talking
unclear
over
on,
me? You know what's
you
a
have like
logical
multiple
nihilist?
burdens right now. Maybe you can fulfill them.
Yeah, so look, I'll start with the first one because I didn't hear the others because you were talking over me. And the first one you said is like, why can't I be a logical nihilist and take a Gillian Russell account? But that's retarded, right? Because even if you're a logical nihilist, you can still agree that logical principles are heuristics. If you know what heuristics mean, then you know what this means. If you
Oh,
don't,
I
heuristic is
don't
just.
accept
Oh,
heuristics.
I wasn't done. A heuristic is just a rule of thumb, okay? And
Yeah, I
so
don't
when we're
accept heuristics.
navigating
Why
the
would I
logical
accept
modal
those?
realm, sorry. When we're navigating the logical modal realm, it's not required that the principles that we're using are infallible, right? Logical or modal knowledge, sorry, can be defeasible insofar as it can turn out to be false. So long as the principles we're using to reach modal knowledge are reliable, that's all that's needed. And so the logical analogy
Okay,
point
so
of
why would it be the case that logical possibility is this type of thing which is useful within our given conceptual scheme, right? Because you said it's a rule of
that's
thumb.
completely
You said it's this
irrelevant.
type of thing. Stop talking. You said it's this type of thing that you can take as a heuristic, right? And all I'm asking here is why would that even be the case, right? Why would this even be some type of thing that we should adopt, or this type of thing which is useful in our daily discourse practices, right?
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
you
I'm
can
not
give an
making.
account of that because you can say that these type of things within our given conceptual scheme are the kind of things which we shouldn't adopt, right? You can take some type of erosion objection there and say that maximizing these type of discourse practices where you eliminate these type of talks can give you defeasible reasons and accepting those rather than maximizing the specific thesis that talks about keeping these type of entities. So maybe you have an account of why it would even be a heuristic.
Yeah, so I mean, like it would
By
be
the way, you have
heuristic.
multiple burdens on the table right now that you haven't fulfilled.
Yes, like you're saying you're taking the Gillian Russell account, and the accounts that Gillian Russell seems to give are particular cases where things like the law of identity don't seem to uphold. But there's no reason for us, abiding by these particular cases to completely throw out the history of success we've had in employing logical principles, not just in things like daily reasoning, but also relating to scientific enterprise, right? Like it wouldn't
It's
make
an
any sense.
empirical claim. Can
Right?
you justify that?
You don't think that in scientific enterprise and mathematics we
No,
employ
wait,
logical
wait.
principles regularly?
Don't ask me a question when I ask you a question, right? You just
Okay,
made
so
an empirical
I'll give
claim.
you some
I'm
empirics. I'll give
asking
you
for
some empirics.
justification for
I'll
that.
give you the empirics. I'll give you some empirics. So, like for example, relating to the field of
Yeah.
physics, there's things called Gedanken experiments, right? A Gedanken experiment is just a thought experiment, and there's been a direct correlation between the success of Gedanken experiments relating to the field of physical science. Like for
Why
example,
would I accept
Einstein's field of
correlation? Because you're presupposing these type of stable
No,
structuralizations,
you asked
right?
me
When you
for
can
the
go against
empirics.
that, you can say that
Bro, can we
correlation
get
is
some
not this type
moderation?
of
You're
thing
asking me
for which is
empirics.
Wait,
And you're
stable.
Cap. Wait, Cap. I'm not gonna lie. Like we have heard your points, but right now the judges and us, we're just trying to hear C's response.
like
Is it
he's
okay
like
if you
he's
Yeah,
can
like a
just
little
like fully
ridiculous
speak?
little bumble.
Right.
What's wrong with him? Look, he
We're
That
asked me
was
for the
just
not good
hearing
empirics.
what he's
rhetoric.
saying.
He's asked me for the empirics, and I'm giving him the empirics.
Yeah,
The
just finish
claim
about
that
the
the burden he
Gedanken.
put upon me
Yeah,
now
sorry.
was to show that there's a success in employing logical principles in the physical sciences. I'm giving you a form of it in the form of Gedanken
Yeah.
experiments,
Just
where
finish from your previous response.
yeah, so like for example, Einstein, when he was discovering special relativity, he conceived of a thought experiment where he asked himself, okay, what would happen if this were to be the case, right? Well, if this were to be the case, it would be this so and so contradiction, and so he explores that notion. Or in regards to like things like radioactivity and like black body radiation and stuff like that, they asked themselves, okay, hypothetically speaking, what would happen if we went here? It would be this so and so contradiction. Well, that's untenable. So let's investigate this a bit more. And it turns out that when they do these Gedanken experiments and they look at the entailments of these hypothetical situations, it yields helpful progress. And this is spoken about in Leonard Suskind's book, right? Which I can like give you like the direct citation for. So that's just one field of science where Duncan experiments, which are just going to be hypothetical
See,
situations.
you haven't
about
fulfilled the
like,
burden, so I'm gonna
how
overtalk you now because
yeah,
you're eating up time. So look, I asked you why accept correlations because the motivation for your empirical claim
that's not what
involved
you asked me.
correlations, right?
You didn't
Yeah,
ask me
no,
why
that
I
is
said
what I
correlation.
asked. I said why accept correlations because you're presupposing these type of stable structuralizations, but you can just go against that, right? You can say
didn't
the
ask me why I said
structuralization is that for which is not stable. You can say that it's that for which is going to be fluid, right? So I'm asking, why is it the case that we should accept that there are even these type of correlations when you motivate these empirical claims, right? Maybe you can go.
Well,
Maybe you can answer that.
well, first and foremost, I think you're confused. I think a correlation, statistically speaking, is just when you observe that one variable and another variable are connected in some way, such that when the activity of one
Yeah, why
variable
would I accept the
increases,
connection? The connection is what I'm questioning right now because the connection presupposes these things that are stable. Like I said, right, you're not responding with anything of
Or can we
substance.
have the guy
Obviously, in
listen
order to have these
over
type of
me again?
connections, you need stable
How is he
structuralizations,
gonna listen to
right?
this
But we
crap?
can
He
go
just
against
speaking
that.
over
We
me the
can just
whole
say that
time,
the stable we can
right?
just say that the
The
structuralization is
connection.
that for which is
Stop,
fluid
stop,
and it's
stop,
not that for which is
stop,
going to be
stop,
stable.
stop,
Okay?
stop. Just
So I
stop.
don't
Just stop.
understand why
Stop.
you're
Stop.
again
Just
question
stop.
begging.
Stop.
Okay?
Just stop talking over me. Stop. Look,
You're question begging.
the connection there does not need to be any sort of
The
causal connection.
connection is
Look,
what's in
just stop
question.
talking over me. Just stop talking over me. Look,
I
all that's
grant
meant by
that you're getting beat the
connection
fuck
there,
up right now.
all that's meant by, I mean, clearly, that's why you have to talk over me the whole time, right? So look, the notion of connection is being
You're
used
getting
there just to
killed.
say that one
Like I said
observes,
clearly.
if there is a correlation, then one observes that when the activity of one variable increases, the activity of another variable increases. It doesn't mean that there's a genuine metaphysical relationship between the two variables, right? So I think you're
I didn't
confusing
say
your
anything
question.
about
The reason
metaphysics. I
why
was
you
talking
accept,
about these type of structuralizations
the
for
reason
which can be
why,
embedded within
the
our
reason
linguistical
why
framework.
did you keep talking
Okay?
over me again?
No one said
The
anything
reason
about
why you accept,
metaphysics. You're
stop
again
talking over me again.
mistracking,
The reason
boss. You need
why
to lock
you
in.
accept the reason why you accept that there's a correlation is because I'm outlining that the activity of one variable increases the activity of another variable, right? But that doesn't mean that they're causally connected. So if your question is why are they causally connected, we can
I
just
didn't
look at
say
the
anything about
definition of
causal connection
itself.
either. I was talking
What
about
is
our
that causal
linguistical
connection?
framework. Why would you accept that these type of things have these type of stable structuralizations?
I don't know what that means or how that's relevant. Can you like define?
Okay, so the relevance relation is going to be this, right? If it's the case that there is no stable structuralization, then you don't get the correlations in the sense that you're talking about because you talked about these type of
Can you
connections,
define what
right?
stable
And I'm
structuralization means?
yeah, so stable structuralizations are going to be these type of leveling within our linguistic practices, okay? And all
What
I'm
does that
saying
mean?
here is, look,
What
if
does
it's
that
the
mean?
what I don't know why I should even accept that this type of thing is that for which is going to be reducible. First of
Nothing you
all,
said
right,
in
we
this
could take
debate
leveling
doesn't
to be this
prove
type
that
of
it is.
irreducible notion within
Why
this
must we have a
dialectic.
stable
Okay, so I
structuralization
don't know
in
why you
order
keep
for it
asking me
to be
what
true?
does that mean? What does that mean?
Why
What
must
does
we
this
have a
mean?
stable
Blase, blase.
structuralization
Okay,
in order
but
for what I'm
look,
saying to
let
be
me
true?
finish explaining the relevance relation. All right, boss.
Why
So
must
look,
they
the
have a
reason why it's
stable
relevant is
structuralization
because
in
you
order for what I'm
yourselves
saying
talked
to be
about these
true?
type of connections, and
Why must
connections
I have a stable
presuppose stable
structuralization in order
structuralizations.
for what I'm
If it's
saying
the
to
case
be
that there's
true?
no stable structuralizations, then you don't get these type of correlations in the sense that you're talking about. You can say that these
Why
type
must
of
I have a
structuralizations
stable
are not for which is
structuralization in
fluid.
order for
Okay.
this to be true?
Oh wait, 1 second. Let C respond for a bit. I don't know. You're not letting him speak. Just let C
Yeah, I
respond to
mean,
what
look,
you're
this
saying,
is
and
just
then
this is just
continue.
like a whole like complete waste of my time, right? Every time he gives a view in the debate, and I ask him what does that mean, he says, "Well, I'm not sure why we should adopt." Right, so that this view can have like some sort of
It's
deeper
not
reduction
good.
unit,
You need to get
right?
back
The
on
reason why it's
substance. You
using these
need to
terms
get
is
back on
very
substance.
important. Why
Stop
does
it.
he keep talking? Bro, this is like ridiculous. Like this is genuinely ridiculous. Every time he mentions a view or a definition that begs further explaining, right? He just can't do it because he knows that these things make no sense,
Ants under
right?
what
He mentions
modality?
there being
What are you
stable
talking
structure.
about?
Look,
It
even if
doesn't follow that because I'm
stop
unwilling, I'm
talking over
unable to.
me, bro.
You
Bro,
understand that, right? It
you
doesn't
keep
follow
talking
that
over me.
because I'm unwilling,
Relax.
I'm unable
Even
to.
if it's
You
okay,
understand that, right? It could
even
be the
if
case that
it's
I'm
okay,
unwilling within the current
even if it's
dialectic, but
okay,
perfectly
even if
able
it's
to
okay,
explicate
please
the type of
relax.
concepts that I'm
Just
employing, right?
possibility.
But I don't even know
It's
why
not
I would
fair
even be
for you
able to
what you're
explicate it,
saying.
right? I can just grant that I'm unable to and just say that it's
No, you
irreducible, and then
can't
there's
give
no
an
problem.
extensive
So
account
what the
right
fuck are you
right
talking
now.
about?
Nobody knows what you mean. It's like ridiculous to think, okay, yeah, let's see how he responds to this idea of like
I can just
stable
grant that I'm unable
structuralization.
to and say it's
If you can't even
irreducible. You're
explain
getting beat the
what
fuck
stable
up right now.
structuralization is,
This is not good for you, boss.
you can
This
explain
is
what a
bad
stable
for you.
structuralization is
You're
ostensibly.
actually getting beat. This is bad. I thought you were good.
You can explain what a stable structuralization is ostensibly, right? You don't have to give a semantic reduction.
If
You can
it's
point to certain things that would be examples of a stable structuralization and say, okay, well, look, in this world, this is what stable
why would I
structuralization
even
is.
grant that I'm able to provide some type of empirics? Why can't it be
No,
something
you
that
can't, it's not an
uh,
empiric. It's
it's
not
not going to be
related to
this
the
kind
world.
of
It's
thing
related
which we
to.
can point to within the world, right? Why
It's
can't it
not
just be some
related to
type
the
of
world specifically. It could be a
immaterial
hypothetical.
thing? Why
It could be
can't
a
it be
hypothetical.
immaterial?
It could
Why
be a
can't it be
hypothetical.
immaterial?
It could be a hypothetical.
I
It
don't
doesn't have
accept
to be related to
hypotheticals.
the
I'm a
world.
modal relativistic boss. I don't
You
accept
can be a modal
hypotheticals.
relativist and still be a modal fictionalist and speak of hypothetical situations despite
No, I don't
disagreeing with
accept
those.
fictionalism either, right? I'm a full limitativist about the type of talks, right? But
So
also, if you're in a limitativist, I don't think that's compatible with fictionalism, given that modal limitivism makes a normative claim, which is that we should stop talking about these kind of things within our discourse. So I don't even know if those two are compatible. You just blundered on that end, first of all,
you're
right?
ridiculous. Look,
You
you
just
can't give me
blundered.
a modal. You
Wait,
can't give
you
me a
admit that you
sense.
just blundered
I'm not
saying
gonna
that
respond to that
eliminativism and fictionalism are
right?
compatible, right? You understand that that's a blunder?
You can
Wait,
obviously
do
be a
you
modal
understand that that's
eliminativist
a blunder?
and still talk about modality fictionally. But that's besides
let
the
him
point. Look,
speak.
I'm gonna
Just
move
for a
on
minute.
because I don't think you've given
No,
me
if
any account of why
eliminativism makes a normative claim.
is relevant. I don't think you've given me an account of what stable structuralization is. I'm just gonna move on to the argument that I was giving, right? So just to be clear, I was giving an argument for
Can I,
non-cognitive. Do you even remember
an
the argument
argument?
I gave at the beginning of the debate?
Insofar as your theory of argumentation, there, are you presupposing these type of monotonic structures or no?
Why is that relevant?
Yeah, the reason why it's relevant is because depending on the answer, I may have qualms with your certain theory of argumentation.
I'm not
Right?
presupposing
It seems to
anything.
be the case. Oh, so what's your theory of argumentation then?
What do you mean by theory of argumentation?
Yeah, just what you take an argument to be.
I take an argument to be a set of sentences in a language, and then one of those sentences are going to be designated to be the conclusion.
Yeah, and do you have monotonicity of entailment there? And so, like, I'm just asking, look, you can take some given
No, not
argument within your
necessarily.
theory. Wait, stop talking.
You
Look,
don't
let's
need to
take some
have
given
you don't
argument
need
within your theory.
to
If you
determine
add these
what
type,
I
if
said.
you add new information there, will the conclusion ever be one which is rendered unjustified or
You don't
no?
need to have monotonicity of
Answer the
entailment.
question. Stop dodging. Answer the
I'm
question.
agnostic, so I'd say no, I
Answer
don't.
the question.
I said I'm
Oh,
agnostic.
you're
Right.
agnostic on that? Okay.
Yeah, the definition
So
of argument I gave is consistent with monotonicity and non-monotonicity. Right.
yeah, that's fine. But I'm asking, when you talk about arguments, are you talking about ones that are monotonic? Is your argument right now monotonic?
I haven't even given the argument yet.
Yeah, but I'm
But
asking before
presumably,
you even give it, is it going to be one for which is monotonic or no?
yeah, presumably it's non-monotonic. Non-monotonic.
Oh, well, I have qualms with that.
Why?
Because it seems like there's this type of convergence on the type of arguments which are monotonic. I think those can give you the feasible reasons in adopting these type of theories of argumentation that are monotonic. I don't know why I would accept your theory of or why I would accept your argument given that it's one for which is going to be non-monotonic, right?
Wait,
Um,
wait, I don't understand. You're not accepting it because it gives the feasible
Also, when
reason.
you talk about these sentences, I think they're too sensitive, and this type of sentence
I don't
sensitivity requires
understand why it having
justification.
feasible reasons
Uh,
the reason to not accept the argument.
yeah, well, the reason why it gives reason to not accept your argument is because uh, when we talk about these type of things that are monotonic and non-monotonic, if it's the case that your argument is non-monotonic and we have the feasible reason to eliminate those type of entities, then clearly it's going to follow that I shouldn't accept your type of
Wait, what
theory of
reason do you have
argumentation.
to
But
eliminate
also, I think the
non-monotonic arguments?
sentences are too sensitive, and the sentence sensitivity there requires justification. When
What do you mean?
constructing this argument and
Sentences
employing
what
these type
need
of concepts,
information?
why these
I don't
sentences,
think that's an
right,
policy
you
of
need to give an
information,
account
right?
as to
You have
why
an
they're more
argument
privileged than the
and you give
default premises.
information.
First, that's
Surely
not
in
going to
order
have
to
any
accept this
sensitivity.
information, your
Okay.
beliefs should change to reflect this, right? Your credences in the proposition should change to reflect
You
that.
have so
Right?
many
So
burdens on the table.
having a
I don't think it's even
non-monotonic,
possible for you
having a
to fulfill all
non-monotonic,
these burdens right now.
having
You're
why
getting
having
beat the fuck up.
having a non-monotonic argument seems to be a benefit because it would reflect changes in credences once you gain new information, right? So I don't understand how that would be a negative. Second of all,
Yeah,
any burden you
I
place
can
on me,
explain why
is
it's going to
that
be.
burdens have to be intelligible, right? You can't place a burden that makes no sense. So if you place a burden on me and I said, wait, what do you mean by that? And you say, I don't
It
know what I
makes
have to
no
explain.
sense.
I don't know how to explain. Oh, what I say don't make any
I
sense,
don't know
right?
why it's a problem if what I'm asking you makes no sense, right? Because you can
But how
take an
can that be a
erosion
burden?
objection
How can
there
I place something
and
as
say that these type of
unintelligible?
nonsensical entities are the
How can I
type for
place
which you have
something
the
as
feasible
unintelligible?
reason to keep
How can
within
I
your
place something
discourse
as unintelligible?
practices.
Okay,
Okay,
how about
but
this? How
look, we
can you
can go
prove
back
to
to
me
the
that
object
you've lived
level. I just
live
want you to
live?
render your argument.
Can you prove to me
You're
that
getting
they've
beat
lived
the fuck up on the meta. So I want you to render your argument now.
Can
And we
you
can
prove
get
to
to
me
the
that you've
object
lived
level.
live? Okay, sure, right. I'll
Well,
give you the argument now that you've agreed that what you said is making no sense. So
no, I said, even if it's making no
I
sense, I
see
don't know
the
why that would
non-cognitive
even be a
view.
problem. But
Anyways, I
give
see
your
the
argument.
non-cognitive view because that it makes no sense for it to be a burden if it makes no sense. Anyways, the argument I give, I'm just gonna send a PDF actually, and then I'll give like one statement from the PDF. All
By the way,
the
you're losing to me. Oh, you wait. I don't want you to send
uh,
a paper or a
no,
PDF. I want you to
why can't I
explicate the
take this?
contents
Can I?
within the
You
PDF.
can go ahead and take
Okay,
a look at this, and I'll just
I'm
give
not
one
reading
thing.
that.
So, one
Explicate the
important
concepts
case of
within the
psychological
PDF.
cognitive view is going to be the relationship between moral utterances and motivations, right? So,
Can
like
you
for
repeat
example,
yourself, C?
whenever
I
people
didn't hear.
make,
I didn't
sorry,
hear you. I asked you,
okay,
can
yeah.
you
So,
repeat yourself?
what I did is I sent the PDF so he can take his time searching through, looking at all of the reasons I had in favor of non-cognitivism, I'm using these, I'm leveling all of these fucking arguments in the debate. But one argument I'm going to say verbally is the relationship between moral utterances and motivation, right? So, like, whenever we have moral disputes, for example, someone's having a dispute about whether abortion is moral or not, we see that these disputes are typically accompanied, with changes in behavior. Where if you show somebody, oh yeah, this thing is moral, this thing is immoral, their behavior typically changes to accompany that. Or in other cases, they'll feel motivated now to act in a way that reflects their new moral judgment, right? And so there's a
Yeah.
relationship there between moral utterances and motivation. And then non-cognitivism just seems to explain this the best out of any other theory.
Okay, I
Because if
understand.
moral
Okay.
utterances was reducible to desires, then it would make sense that a
So
change in desire means a change in
thank you.
motivation.
Okay, thank you for
All of
eating time. I
desire
understand. So you want to say that there's this datum, and you want to say that non-cog is the thing which best explains the datum available, right? This is an abductive argument. I don't know, one, why I would even accept the datum there, right? Because you can take some type of meta-moral abolitionist view and say that these type of moral things are the kind of things which have no semantic underpinning, right? If it's the case that it has no semantic underpinning, then I don't know why I would even grant that. There is this type of data in the first place.
What does it mean for something to have no semantic underpinning?
Yeah, that's just to say that it has this type of leveling when we talk about it or when we adopt it in our given conceptual scheme or within our given discourse or within our given domain of inquiry. Okay, and I'm just asking,
what does
why would I
leveling
even
mean?
grant that these type of moral utterances
What
have
does
this type
leveling
of
mean?
semantic
What does
underpinning?
leveling mean?
Yeah, when we talk about leveling, we're talking about this type of stable structuralization, one for which encapsulates this type of meaning, this type of semantic content.
Why does I
Right.
don't agree? Wait, why does it have to be a stable structuralization? I agree that the meaning of terms can vary depending on the person that's uttering the term. Why does that affect my argument in any relevant
That's
way?
compatible with stable structuralization.
Okay,
You
so
just
what's a
blundered.
stable structuralization then?
Yeah, it's just going to be this thing for which encapsulates meaning, this thing for which encapsulates this type of semantic content. Okay, it's like this type of contain. You can imagine it as this type of container for semantic content, right? If it's the case that these type of moral utterances don't have this type of container or this type of leveling, then it's going to be the case that you don't get these type of moral utterances even being within the data set that you're trying to explain here
Hold on.
abductively.
What happens if I say
You
that?
understand that in order to have an abductive argument, you need the datum to
don't
be
know
one
what
for
you
which is
mean by-
accurate or one
Look,
for
this is what
which
you said in the
obtains,
chat.
right? You
So the
understand that?
stable structuralization is the thing that encapsulates meaning, right?
Yeah.
So like when an agent utters a term, like let's say like Cap doesn't go to school, right? The meaning of that term is whatever the agent means when he uses the term Cap doesn't go to school. What additionally
Wait,
is there?
and so for wait, when you say that, are you presupposing these type of semantic internalist accounts? Because it seems to be relative on the agent there, but you can go against this. You can say that it's determinate by outside factors. Okay, so
That's
I don't
fine.
understand
It can also be determined by
what you're even
outside
responding
factors.
to.
That's fine. It could also be fixed by outside factors as well. But what's the additional thing this stable
Yeah, I'm
structuralization
asking why would I grant that there's this type of you can even take the stable structuralization to be the relation
I
between
don't know
the
what that
agent
means.
and the terms, right? I don't know why I would grant that this type of thing is one for which
Wait,
obtains.
repeat that again. You can take the stable structuralization to be what exactly?
Yeah, the relation between the agent and the terms, which
Between
encapsulates
what
the
are the
meaning.
terms? Between what are the terms?
The terms are just going to be the definiant
No,
and
between
the
what and the
definiendum.
terms. The relation between what
He's
and the
asking about
terms.
the
The agent.
Between the agent and the terms.
Yeah, if it's
Okay,
the
yeah.
case
So
that
what?
there's not going to be this type of thing within the moral domain, then the moral domain is the entire thing that and we're just both here.
understand.
Okay, so I want you to actually give it attention and stop doing this Q&A bullshit.
No
Okay,
one knows
actually
what this
engage with what
means.
I'm saying.
Nobody understands what this means. This is why I
How
have
is
to
that
do
relevant?
Q&A.
How is that relevant?
Because if I don't understand the meaning of the burden, how can it be a plausible burden to assign?
Wait, so you grant that you have a burden? You actually have
No,
multiple
that's the
burdens
whole
here.
point of my clarification, right? If I don't know what this
Oh,
means,
wait,
if it
what's
means
going to be the
nothing,
problem with adopting some type of given dialectical model where you actually have 10,000 burdens right now?
no,
What's
you're
the
not
problem
going to
with
run
that?
away. That's irrelevant. I don't think that's
What's going to be the
intelligent.
problem with that answer?
I don't think
Because
that's
we can
intelligent.
adopt some type of dialectical model within our given conceptual scheme where you have like
Right?
100,000 burdens right now. Can you go against that? Can you go against it? Wait, I want you to go against the dialectical model. Go against it.
What happens when I accept that there's no stable
When you were
structuralization?
defeated for this dialectical model where you have 100,000 burdens in the dialectic. Go ahead.
What's a dialectical model?
Yeah, dialectical model is going to be this type of thing that we employ within our given conceptual scheme when we engage in these type of discourses, right? When we engage in these type of conversations or these type of conversational debates, right? So all I'm asking is, can you give a defeater to this type of thing, right? Because if you can't give a defeater, then I don't know why I would even think you don't have like 100,000 burdens right now.
You haven't told me what a dialectical model is. You just said it's a type of
just
thing we
did.
employ in
I just did.
No, this is what you said.
did.
You said A dialectical model is a given thing we employ in our conceptual scheme when we engage in these sorts of discourses. How do you think that's fucking reductive? Like, I don't want to swear
Okay.
at you, but how do you think it's a reductive, informative definition?
Okay. Look, a dialectical
Okay,
model is
what?
going to be this type. Look, I can maybe break down to you what a conceptual scheme is because you need to get taught right now. But I want you to go against this model. Just go
I
against
don't
you
want.
having
I don't listen.
100,000
What is
burdens.
unintelligible? Listen to me. Everything you've said is
Just go
unintelligible.
against
from
you
the
having
beginning of the
100,000 burdens. Just go against it.
Listen, the model in which that exists in is unintelligible.
Can you go against you having 100,000 burdens? Yes or no?
Why should I accept that I have 100,000 persons to begin with?
That's a burden shift. Holy shit!
That's
I'm
not a
asking
burden.
why should we
AGM
not
theory of
accept
belief.
that you have
Under
100,000
AGM,
burdens?
under
Holy fucking burden
AGM
shift!
theory,
You just
under
burden shifted like
AGM,
fuck. You don't.
under
I asked you a
AGM,
question. You don't get to ask me another question.
judges,
So I'm
give
not
me
going
like
to be
10
entertaining
seconds
that
to
question.
finish
I want you to
the
go
burden.
against this type of
Is it
dialectical
okay?
model.
It's
But
not a
we
burden
just want
shift.
to,
Look,
since the time is a bit short, we want to hear both perspectives.
yes,
Is it
look,
okay
I
if
was
we
going
could
to
let C
say,
speak?
it's not a
Just go
burden
against
shift.
it, boss. Just go against it.
Stop. Under an AGM theory of belief, right? Belief revision is theoretically costly. So if I have a belief that I do not have 100,000 burdens, and you say, oh, well, can you go against the view that you have 100,000 burdens? Under an AGM theory of belief, I would need additional evidence in my belief set to revise my belief.
Why would I
So when
accept
I
that
say,
theory of
why should I
belief?
change my sorry, I can, under an AGM theory, I can accept, hey, look, I actually don't have this evidence that would weigh in favor of me not having 100,000
By the
burdens.
way,
Perhaps I
judges,
can
I just want to
stop
flag that
talking over me,
he's not
bro.
actually
Like,
going against the burden that I
talking
just
over
placed on him. He's not
me.
actually going against that. I'm bringing up like
But
a
look,
thousand
under
burdens. He
AGM
hasn't given
theory,
a
I
theory
can
to
accept
aleatic
that there's a lack
nihilism.
of
He hasn't given a theory to
and
a
yet
dialectical
maintain my
model.
belief
I had to teach him
because
the
belief
conceptual
revision is
scheme
theoretically
talk.
costly
But
and
look,
requires
this is what we're
something
going to
over and
do. This is
above
what we're going to
maintain
do.
stability.
I'm going to ask you, why should we adopt this type of thing where the beliefs are therefore going to be revisable, right? Because you saying that they're revisable kind of presupposes it seems to be the case that it's presupposing these type of inferential structuralizations within our given doxastic states, right? But
This
we
is
can go against that.
gibberish.
We
It's
can say it's the case
unintelligible.
that our
Do you know
beliefs
what
are
it
not
means
going to be
to
that for
revise
which are
a
going to be
belief?
revisable.
Do you know what it
So
means to
why
revise
should
a
we
belief?
accept that?
What does belief revision mean?
Yeah, when we talk about revising a belief, we're just going to say at
No,
T1 you have belief X,
revision.
and then at T2 you have belief Y.
Yes, no, a belief revision is not adding beliefs. A belief revision is, look, you
No,
have
I
a
said you
belief.
have belief X and then you have belief Y, and then you're removing
No.
belief
A
X
belief
out of your
revision would be a
doxastic
belief
states.
revision. Stop talking over me. A
Is
belief
that an accurate
revision.
account? Yes or no?
Why does he keep talking over me? A belief revision
Is
is just
that an
any
accurate
change.
account? Yes
Stop
or
talking
no?
over
Answer
me.
the
Stop
question.
talking over me. No, it's not an accurate
I'll
account.
refrain.
A
Okay.
belief
What's the
revision
symmetry breaker
is
between
any.
your account and my account?
Bro,
What's the symmetry breaker?
a belief revision is any change to a
What's the
belief set.
symmetry
It's not.
breaker?
Stop talking over me.
You
Stop
said it's the
talking
case
over me.
that my account is not going to be one for
A
which is
belief
accurate. So
revision
what's the
is
symmetry
any
breaker?
change to a belief set.
What's
It
the
need
symmetry
not
breaker?
be. Stop talking over me. Like,
He
just stop.
doesn't
You want
answer
me
what the
to tell you
symmetry
the symmetry
breaker
breaker
is.
and then stop talking over me. The symmetry
You said
breaker
it.
is that
You
when
made a
you
positive claim. You said it's not the
how many
case that
times
our
am I doing?
conceptions
But
of
the
what
symmetry
these type
breaker
of
is that
things are
when
going
you're
to be
giving your
are going to
account
be
of a
that for which
belief
are going to be
set or a belief revision,
similar
you
or
said
at
you have
least
a belief
the
X
same,
at
right? I'm
and then
asking
at
what's
you
the
have belief
symmetry breaker
Y.
between
So
your
that's
account
not
and
what
my
I mean when
account?
I say belief revision, right? A belief revision
Okay,
is going
what's
to
the
be
symmetry
a
breaker since
change
that's
to a
not what you
belief set.
mean?
Perhaps you have a belief X and then later on you have a belief
What's
not
the
X.
symmetry
How
breaker since that's not
belief
what you
X and not
mean?
having a belief Y. So that's the symmetry breaker.
He
Secondly, we haven't
isn't.
given an argument against the fact that there's an intimate connection between moral motivation and motivations. Third of all, you haven't explained why stable
I don't know why I
crystallization
would
are necessary in order to
grant
make sense
that,
of my view.
given that the
Right?
moral
If we
domain
agree
just
that there are
alters
no stable
relevant to
crystallization,
meta-moral
what
evolutionism.
else happens?
Well, why would I grant that? Why would I grant that there's this type of interlinking or
Okay,
these
what does
type
the
of
word would there? What does
structuralization
would mean
between
there?
motivation and
What
moral
does would mean there?
claims?
What does would mean
What?
there? Would. The modal term. What does it mean there?
I'm not using it in a modally sensitive way.
Okay, so what does it mean if it's not the
But when we talk
expanded
about
usage
would,
of
we're
term?
just saying assent to.
Assent to.
Mhm.
But I thought when you said accept, that's meaning assent to. So why would I assent to accepting to the thing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. You're asking
Doesn't
irrelevant
that make
questions,
any
by the way,
sense?
but I don't know why we can answer those.
You caveman. Why would I assent to accepting to the thing?
Yeah. That's a grammatically correct sentence, by the way. Do you want to conclude?
You ask me why you'd assent to?
Yeah, this type of interlinking between morals and motivation. Well, we can conclude here, by the way.
I can just give you many examples from the real
Grant
world.
that examples are that for which are going to be aerotatically. I don't know why we should adopt these type of things within our given conceptual model.
Valid.
What
Define
a, he's
arithmetically.
just a rat, bro.
But yeah, we can conclude here. I think you got to beat the fuck
Can
up.
we force judgment?
Wait, hold on.
Or
I
Yeah,
wanna,
you
I wanna
can.
say
You
something.
go
I wanna
first,
say something
close.
quickly. Cap, what was your
um
response to me saying that you can define truth
bro, see,
pragmatically?
bro, like this ain't going. This is like nothing you or him say anymore will like further the substance or anything about the debate. Archie, Ruin, who wanna go first?
Archie can go first.
What the fuck, dude? What the
Wait,
fuck,
Ruin, what did
man?
you say? You were low as
So
shit, bro.
Archie can go first.
Archie can go first.
Dude, what a fucking animal, bro. You want to conclude? See, I mean, should we give him a chance to conclude?
Yeah, I think
Closer
we
statements,
should.
just give verdict. We don't do closer statements, just give verdict.
Alright,
Oh, you,
Archie,
is that true,
Archie.
Cat? Or okay, if that's
Archie
true,
gets
then okay, guys, please don't slit my throat for this. I'm just a judge. You know, I'm just, you know, I'm 1/3. Okay, so it's really on these two. So if these
Get the
two
verdict.
judge against any of you guys, then attack them, not me. Okay. Okay. So
Just give the
listen.
judgment, bro. Like,
I mean, listen. So, oh, there's 5 judges. Wait. Oh, I'm just 3 people. Okay, I don't know how that works. Never mind. Okay, listen. So this is how it's gonna go. I do think Cap won. Um, it's only because I didn't really hear a genuine response to the alethic nihilism point. I didn't hear a response to the stable structuralism point. I didn't hear a response about the semantic underpinnings point. I didn't really hear a response to anything. And granted, you know, I do think you should have been charitable enough to explain the terms to you so you could give a proper response. Nonetheless, I just didn't hear a response, so I don't think it makes sense to
yeah.
say you won.
Ruin,
Okay.
do I go next or do you go next?
I can go next. I think I agree with
Alright.
Archie, especially because in the beginning I remember that I don't think that Cap said it was false, which if he did say it was false, would obviously very bad on him. He actually corrected C and said it was a mistrack on C saying that Cap said it was false. And he also corrected him on the truth value restriction and kind of won in the beginning on that alethic nihilism point, which is, in my opinion, the only really relevant point to the actual discussion. I don't think anything else they were talking about was even close to that topic. So given that Cap won that point and it went unaddressed, and most of the time Cap was performing better, placing burdens heavier, looking better rhetorically, I think I have to give it to Cap, to be honest. It just seems like he just performed better, especially given that the main point went unaddressed.
Okay, and my judgment now, or for the last thing, if this like, what's your theory of argumentation and alethic nihilism? Like, if Cap tried to run that on any other platform, I don't think people would try judging that or anything. But since we are in KG Lounge, that does play a very big role here. So I'm gonna have to give my judgment to Cap.